The Chuwi Freebook really piqued my interest because of the way you can just use the device. It's more like a hybrid device where you can use like a laptop and also like a tablet. We have seen this before with other devices from different companies. However, this thing comes with the N100 Intel chipset in the inside. And one of the things I do love about these, let's say N100 chipsets, that we can do a lot of cool things for just casual using. Think about using the website browser, watching videos, but also playing games and emulation. The Freebook comes in different variations, having 8, 12, 16 and 32 GB of RAM, and we're having 128, 256, 512 and 1 TB storage, but you can just see the indication this thing comes with 12 GB of RAM, and over here having 512 GB of storage. So it comes with the N100 Intel, and then we're having a 30.5 inches of a 2K touchscreen, Wi-Fi 6, and we do have like some interesting specifications if you ask me. Where this is quite a sleek design, what you can just see here on the video. I really love when they're going with an angle, so this is absolutely more comfortable actually using it when typing. However, like this thing is quite heavy, so if you want to use this like a tablet, I can tell you it's going to be a very heavy tablet. So what you can actually do is fold it open and fold it all the way like that. It's kind of cool. It's not like something super new. We have seen it before with different brands, but I think it's a very awesome feature. The design of the device is quite slim, but also it's not that wide like a gaming laptop or an older type of laptop. We don't have a numpad, something I personally use a lot, but that is something you can just add throughout the USB. By the way, I was with the connections. At the right side, it seems you having the USB-C connections and the on-off switch over there. And then we're going to have a headphone jack out and another USB-C. So the Chuwi doesn't have an HDMI connection built in, so I'm guessing we need to use an OTG converter to get ourselves different features and extra USB ports. But that's one of the things that we're getting with a very slim design. We need to make concessions, or at least Chuwi itself. But let's take a close look at the power supply. Because this can also be variation of 19 volts or whatsoever different laptops or notebooks, but this thing is just a 12 volt 3 amp, in total 38 watts. So nothing very fancy or special. But how about the overall quality? Is it any good? I have been reviewing a couple of laptops, and most of the time we're getting in, let's say, a cheaper, or let's say low power device. You're also going to have the concession that it feels quite cheap. But first of all, when you're looking at the hinges, it feels very solid. So the hinges over here is of course a special hinge, not like your typical laptop. Here you can just actually see that it can rotate in two different ways with some space between the screen and the display itself. But this thing does have like a very nice resistance. I do wonder if you're going to be using this for quite a long time, if this is going to be the same resistance and will it feel the same solid way after a couple of years of use. The keyboard itself feels very nice and very quality. And the reason I'm saying it, because I have seen a lot of laptops, often let's say low budget line, and most of them have these very cheap feel clickies buttons, but we don't have that at all. And of course the laptop has a very nice original design with this time a QWERTY keyboard, and the touch itself, you can see we do have like a very nice travel when it comes to all of the buttons, and the touch itself is absolutely great. Let's give you like more like an ASMR idea how it will sound. Okay, so one of the positive things is that we have a massive mousepad when it comes to that, with all of the features we know of with previous models on different brands. The click, you can just see over here is the middle line. The click feels very nice and very sturdy, with just the right amount of resistance. But how about the trackpad itself, or the mousepad? So with the older models we always had like the extra features on the side. We have none of those. We can use every single part of the mousepad on here. So we can just make things larger or smaller by using two fingers. If you want to scroll, you can use two fingers like that, you know, and it works very well. So the display itself is absolutely a beautiful display. And it comes with the touch itself, of course, simply because this is a tablet, so we can use the touch feature, but also just the keyboard. And the mouse itself is very responsive. And throughout the F1 button and all of the top buttons over here, the F1 to F12, here we can adjust things like brightness control fairly easy, or we can shut down or putting in different brightness when it comes to the keyboard itself. So if you don't like it, you can change it out. And another feature is that we do have a light up keyboard, and it looks absolutely nice inside of the darkness. It's just installing Windows, so it just turned off. Actually, when I'm recording the video, of course something like this only happens with the Wicked. The weirdest feature is actually this. So in the package we're having all kinds of, I think it's more like anti-spilling, or we have all kinds of different, let's say, versions when it comes to, let's say, the keyboard. So this is QWERTY, then we'll be having AZERTY, and yeah, it's an easy solution. What you can do, we can just put it on there. It fits like a glove. In this way, you have just no different way to actually use this. And I can tell you, it doesn't even like a negative effect when it comes to the keyboard itself. We can slip up all of them. Yeah. And so many times I'm going to be setting up Windows here every single year with so many different devices. However, this time we can do it differently. We can use the finger, yes. And we know we have like every single language, so we're going to be choosing English and go further. We do choose ourselves the region where we're living. However, it's kind of a little bit of on the downside, if you ask me, that we cannot use the Dutch language at the first try. So we're going to be downloading that through the internet. But first, let's choose the country and region we're living in. But of course, it's absolutely awesome that we're having the option to use touchscreen and we can draw ourselves some awesome pictures. That is me. Yep, that's how I draw. Me with a happy face, because I do like this product. And a mustache. But let's do a chit chat about the specifications. So this thing comes with the Intel N100, also known as the codename Elder Lake, with max TDP with only 6 watts. So it's the 10 nanometer technology. The main board doesn't give any information whatsoever. Memory DDR5, 12 GB. So in here, it seems to be that there are multiple slots in there, but that is kind of weird. But they are using Samsung, or what's claiming to actually been implemented here. Graphic wise, having the Intel Ultra HD graphics. But one thing I wonder, if we're going to be stretching this thing, how hot does it get? And stretching the machine itself. So when it comes to the temperatures, it seems to be hitting in 56 Celsius. So the thin design, it's not bad at all. So when it comes to the overall cooling. But let's say you're browsing on YouTube and you want to switch to tablet mode. How does this actually work? I've removed all of the cabling. So what you can just do is very easy, like switch it to table mode or tablet mode and can just browse the internet like that. But it's kind of cool. If you're going to be searching something, it automatically will give you the virtual keyboard. So it makes it really comfortable and very easy to actually use it. Okay, say, how is it actually when it comes to the keyboard? Is it still active? That is one of the things that we don't want to. So you can just see that it has been switched to this particular mode. The buttons don't do anything at all. So when actually being in this mode, it automatically detects text. So far I understand when it comes to, let's say, the way how you're going to be using the device itself. But when you're looking at the way how everything looks, particularly when it comes to, let's say, the way how it's constructed, it feels quite solid. But I already mentioned before that it feels quite heavy when it comes to that. Because in total it weighs over 1.2 kilograms, so it's not going to be something very easy to take with you when it comes to tablet mode. And if you just want to look onto YouTube and just, let's say, putting it on your desk in front of you, you don't want to use it at all, it's going to be super convenient. So let's say you're going to be searching for the Wicked Gamer, you can just do it fairly easy, it's very responsive, and I must say that I'm very pleased when it comes to this. And there we go. Super easy. Very smooth, and the way how this actually works is just fantastic. But how about the overall, let's say, audio quality? Let's check that out, because that is something different. For this part of the video, I'm going to be using a controller. I'm not going to be using a Bluetooth controller. That's one of the possibilities. For this video, I just wanted to use my old school, very reliable Xbox 360 controller, but that has a normal USB. We can use a converter if you want to, but I think this is more convenient to use actually the hub that converts to different ports. So these things can be bought on AliExpress for very cheap. Okay, so the first thing I've noticed with this, that the audio quality is absolutely great. Very well, I like it a lot. Go Force, yeah! And one of the cool things I love about it is the tablet mode. I love to play these touch-based games, and of course you can play with a mouse if you want to, but this is just a completely different experience. And looking at this game I've played so many times now, it looks so great on this beautiful, let's say, resolution display. I'm just flabbergasted how they can actually make a device for this amount of money and has still a great overall experience.
Hunting season begins. Trust our aim.
I already completely messed it up, but you're getting the point when it comes to playing these fun games. One of the things I'm really surprised by is like how actually beautiful the display looks. It's absolutely amazing. And the camera doesn't even do really justice when it comes to that. Another cool thing is with the N100, this thing is capable of running all kinds of indie games, but also when it comes to emulation. That is what I wanted to dedicate this video to, because we can do all kinds of cool things with this. This is such a fun game to play. Oh yeah, blow away the rockets. And again, the audio quality itself, it's great when you're hearing the mid and the highs being played. That's freaking awesome. Slice and dice. But let's check out how it will perform on full HD resolution. And you can just see it dips to the 40 frames per second, 33. So this is not running on full 60 FPS. So that is kind of confusing, because you would expect that this would be a game that would be playing perfectly, but you see that it's still quite demanding. However, doesn't spoil the fun. But this game isn't running that great with 12 frames per second. I was looking into the settings, and that's also one of the reasons why Street of Rage was suffering. That has to do because if you're going to be putting it at full screen, it's going to be forcing it to this crazy resolution. And yeah, that is not going to be pulling it right with the N100. This is not like the great combination. We need to have more GPU power for that actually. 2256 by 1504, that's absolutely crazy if you want to play like a three-dimensional game. I think if you're going to be playing Crash Bandicoot, you can see the GPU is running on 99%. I think we need to put it on a very low resolution. So let's start with 640 by 480, old school. We can start tweaking like crazy, but this is one of those systems that will not able to run AAA gaming, or at least older games that needed a GPU. So when it comes to this, it's absolutely a great chipset, the N100 for indie gaming, some three-dimensional older games, including Crash Bandicoot, an older game, but actually it doesn't have like the right performance. So makes it absolutely unplayable. I find it still fascinating to see what the N100 all can do, but getting into some other games like Red Rogers, yeah, it's really demanding, and when it comes to this, we just need to have more power to run these games on, let's say, higher resolutions, where we're just having a lower resolution going on over here. The game, when I say it's still playable with the 28 like freaking frames per second,